Ona mfaro w'nyuma wakawandisa. Ndichanodza mukuru kuti vanhu vari kufarira mvura. Kuti zvibhorani zvese zviri muno zviitwe zvese tisati taenda kuma-elections. Saka kuratidza chete kuti hurumende iripo haisi yekotaura chete. Zvandichaita inini mangwana ndichatumira vakomana kutanga mangwana vakonekte dzimba dziri panapa direct.
The big question is, what is happening here? Who is Tungwarara? Who is sent to try to silence Comrade Bombshell Geza? We are seeing Tungwarara everywhere with the war veterans. It seems there is chaos in the ruling party. This crisis that we all saw Comrade Bombshell Geza crying about is not only isolated to Comrade Bombshell alone, but to the entire war veterans. Now we are seeing attempts to silence the war veterans. We see houses have been built for the war veterans. And we see this headline from yesterday, more cash for war veterans, coming from Zimbabwe Herald. This is one of the houses that is built for some of the Zimbabwe war veterans. As we are seeing images of the Vice President Kembo Mohadi Sad Pictures of Vice President Kembo Mohadi in a health scare. What is happening here? And what happened? Then we see more solidarity for the jailed Blessed Gaza. What happened at court today, and what does this mean for Blessed Gaza? And we see Grace Mugabe also in a reappearance today. What is she up to? What was she doing? Greetings, good people. What's up? What's happening? My name is Dr. Clarence, and welcome back to TV7 Live, where we get to give you all the hottest and top trending topics, broadcasting live and direct from Zimbabwe, Africa. Who is Tungwarara and what is he about? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be digging deep into that in this video. And what does this mean in Zimbabwe politics? We see today war veteran Comrade Blessed Gaza has lost a $1.3 million fraud case due to him being absent. Wanted war veteran and ZANU-PF Central Committee member Blessed Gaza has lost his fraud case against former Agriculture and Rural Development Authority at the chairman Basil Nyabaza. Geza had accused Nyabaza of defrauding him of 1,362,000 in a land deal. On Wednesday, February 26, the state withdrew the charges before plea. Prosecutor Anesu Chirenje told the court that Nyabaza would be summoned once Geza presents himself. Nyabaza objects to the withdrawal, insisting that the charges be read and the trial should proceed. However, Magistrate Donald Ndirowe, who replaced Tilda Majandi after she recused herself earlier that morning, sided with the state and withdrew the charges before plea. Now, what are the legal implications of this withdrawal? A withdrawal before plea means evidence remains available for use in a future trial. In contrast, a withdrawal after a plea would have resulted in an automatic acquittal, preventing the evidence from being used again. The previous week, Magistrate Majandi had warned the state that she would remove Nyabaza from remand if Geza failed to appear. However, she later recused herself for personal reasons before making a ruling. Now, this alleged fraud case are what happened here. According to the state, Geza purchased 42.35 hectares of land from Nyabaza on October 29, 2020 for 1.3 million as part of the deal. Geza was granted exclusive rights to subdivide, develop, and sell the land. However, Nyabaza allegedly misrepresented that the land had title deeds, which he promised to deliver within a month. When Geza sought subdivision permit from the Department of Physical Planning in Mashonaland West, he discovered that Nyabaza had sold the same land to Velda Estates. Geza tried to engage Nyabaza for a resolution only to find that his agreement of sale had been cancelled without his knowledge. Feeling defrauded, Geza reported the matter to the police, leading to Nyabaza's court summons. The prosecution claims that Geza lost 1.3 million with no single cent of any funds recovered. Yes, we're seeing Geza, Blessed Bombshell Geza, is Zimbabwe's most wanted man. And now one of his cases has been dropped. Not necessarily dropped forever, but it has been dropped, and he is accused has been removed from remand. This is what has happened today, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we're seeing this guy, Tungwarara guy, trending everywhere, being mentioned everywhere. If we go over here on social media, we see this. There, my network get dropped. My network get dropped. Big up to everybody who's watching us live right about now. We're continuing with the Tungwarara. Then we go over to x.com, we see this. He is everywhere. So, what we know of Tungwarara, he is the guy who got the tender to drill boreholes for the war veterans. How many boreholes, ladies and gentlemen? A lot of boreholes, thousands of borehole. Here we see a post. Drilling a borehole in Zimbabwe is US 800 to 12,000. Dr. Paul Tungwarara, who has the 10, that's around 420. That's almost $500 million tender. he is charging 15,000 to 20,000 each. So it's at 12,000, it's 20,000. That's around 700 million. This guy got a $700 million tender to be drilling boreholes for war veterans, ladies and gentlemen. So we see him here. We see war veterans receiving money. Receiving money is 150,000. Then we see him at his farm there. That is Tungwarara. Then we see him speak also in some videos. What does he say?
Saka ndichigara pasi rega nditaure ndichiti pane chimwe chirongwa zvakare chakapuruvwa nezuro chiri kuenda kumaovheti maita rombo machisendera kuti saka since chataurirwa kuno tichachitangira kuno. President vakati tiye kuti vanhu vazoitirwa zvakare maovheti edu. Munoziva baa kune chirongwa chemabhoo chechibhorani zvanga zvichiiswa mumavillages. Saka maovheti anga achisarirawo ipapo. Saka mukuru wenyika azoti aiwa ngatikiriete rimwe window pakati pechirongwa ichocho tomeka sure kuti maovheti edu mumwe nemumwe ane bhoo pamba pake. Saka chirongwa ichi chichatangira kuno. Tichatumira marigi anodhira mabhoos. Saka takutotangira kuno comrade Mahia. Tichatumira marigi anodhira mabhoo kuno anenge ari mairi anenge achidirectwa nemaovetereni kuti ngarienda apa, ngarienda apa, ngarienda apa. Kana tikaona tachovha kuno tozoenda kune imwe province. Nayo aya mazhinji pasina vasingadi development, pasina vanoda kumisa basa ravamunangagwa, pasina vasingadi development. Tatete regai nditaure ndichiti maoveterani akambova zviseko mumavillage.
That is Tungwarara again speaking there, ladies and gentlemen. That is Tungwarara. We are going deep. We're going deep with Tungwarara. Who is he, ladies and gentlemen? 700 million. That's almost a billion. Now, who is benefiting from this project that we are seeing here? Who is really benefiting, ladies and gentlemen?
Maoveterani akakumbira achisekwa mumavillage. Asi kune mutauro unotaurwa uchinzi shiri ndiyo yabata rekeni. Iko zvino maovheti ndinemi kusvika manaka. Ndicharwa hondo.
All this is to silence the Geza Revolution.
Yekuti munyatsosunungurwa muhomwe nemumaturo enyu nemumakicheni enyu kuti rusununguko rwacho rubve rwacho teke. Saka ndikuti maovheti akatambura zvikwanwana. Maovheti akachema zvikwanwana. Iko zvino president vakuvangarai vaudza zvinova izvi zvisina dzimwe mukati zvakanangana nemi. 150,000 yamuri wai haisi yoga. Indesitata tikocheka discipline. Tikocheka mune moda here.
Tingocheka discipline. Take note of the language being used here, ladies and gentlemen. Kuti tingocheka kuti mune order here. Tingocheka discipline. What does he mean here? What does he mean here? Willard says other platforms network is good, but when it comes to your platform, big problem. Yeah. It's deliberate. We're using the same network in the same Zimbabwe. That is not my problem there. All I can do is pray about it.
Yes, Baba. By June, itakapo target na president by June. Province yega inofana unge yane $1 million. Inenge ichitenderera mprovince imomu. Mari zichitenderera mprovince imomu. Pambe.
DJ Mazomi Murejere DJ Nindofara Ngwasi ndoda kungoti munditenderewo murume uya Tungwarara uya because uya ndo munhu unonzi game changer. Unozwa Tungwarara zvinhu zvakazi zvekuti kwai mangwana makuseni kana kuti chimira IQ kana kuti Tungwarara unongosvika kupedza masports ipapo iko zvinokuita madhiri uchipedza ipapo kunzi kuita Tungwarara ndaita Tungwarara ukawanika kudza uya tisangane tite Tungwarara zvochikora kuti kutongopedza kungosiya movha atova nechibhurani chake imba yadovakwa musi iwoyo wovheti mari yaro akuita Tungwarara ndokunzi ndaita Tungwarara zvorwa ndadini ndapedza masports munditendere murume uya anonzi game changer uya murume uya kungoti akaazivi murume uya kungoti zvakazivi dei uya kuno kumasvingo kunoku ina hangu handina chandinacho asi mbudzi yekuurayira Tungwarara ndishai mbudzi yekumuurayira kuti agoche zvisine dehwe kana achida ndandoiwana. I'm happy and pleased negadzira.
Right, so we are seeing this here somebody speaking on Tungwarara. This is the guy with the tender to drill the same boreholes speaking here. Now, we're seeing him all over social media. We're seeing these guys all over social media as the other media happens to now be being silenced. This guy has got a tender to drill 35,000 boreholes. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Tungwarara is Mnangagwa's special presidential investment advisor to the United Arab Emirates. He has been in the spotlight this past week, indirectly and directly through Mnangagwa activities. Of course, there is no headline about him specifically, but he has been trending. Now we're seeing his role in the war veterans schemes that begin after the Geza Revolution. He urged the war veterans, he has been urging the war veterans and ZANU-PF members to ignore what he calls divisive social media messages and stay united, suggesting he is actively shaping party narratives amidst functional tensions. That will be the message of President Mnangagwa here. Now, Tungwarara's name also carries baggage from fraud allegations. Reports from earlier in February note he is accused of swindling an Indian investor out of 2.3 million in 2023 over a fake property deal and work permits and defrauding another man 300,000 in 2019. Given President Mnangagwa's busyness, we see Tungwarara has been involved behind the scenes running the affairs of the Zimbabwe war veterans. It's Tungwarara everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, we see Tungwarara everywhere. It's Tungwarara. So he is now the face that is trying to pacify the war veterans. One question we may ask, all along, we are now seeing this action happening. Does this mean that the war veterans had been forgotten? If this is now happening now, does this mean the war veterans had been forgotten? Question is, what happens next after this? Yes, we cannot deny that the voice of Comrade Bombshell Geza was not only speaking for himself, but was speaking for the ignored war veteran. Now we are seeing that these guys are trying to pacify the war veterans. Yes, the network is a problem. Big up to Morgan Tarusarira. This is an attack not only on network, but also physical harassment. These things happen. Remember, I'm broadcasting from Zimbabwe, Africa, from Chitungwiza, Zengeza. Right. So imagine all those people who participated in 2008. What are they doing now? All the people participated in 2008 violence, what are they doing now? Made that in the year 2008. And those same people, they still live kwa wanoti kuma sales kuno sales ekujeri. Zimbabwe is an open prison. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an open prison. We survive by the grace of God. We survive here by the grace of God and nothing else, ladies and gentlemen. The same network that everybody else is using is the same network that I'm using. But imagine, this is network. If I leave this geolocation, it starts working until somebody figures my geolocation, my next geolocation. That is what always happens. As Jairi Kesha, I think it's a Jairaka. Anyways, We live by the grace of God. Speaking of grace, we see Grace Mugabe in a rare appearance today. Where was she and what was she doing? First Lady Grace Mugabe made a rare appearance on Thursday in Harare, where she signed the book of condolences for the late former Namibian President Sam Nujoma. She joined mourners in honoring the life and legacy of Sam Nujoma, a founding father and a key figure in so-called African liberation history. Nujoma led Namibia's fight for so-called independence from South African apartheid rule, just as Mugabe led Zimbabwe's so-called war against the so-called British colonial domination. Their friendship extended beyond the so-called liberation struggle as they worked together to shape the so-called regional politics, including forming the so-called Southern African Development Community, SADC. Both were champions of the so-called Pan-Africanism, so-called land reform, and so-called economic independence, often standing in defiance in so-called Western influence. The Western influence that I know is the education these guys brought us, is teaching us democracy that they brought us. That's what I know of Western influence. What I know of a Western influence is the Western money that we use here in Zimbabwe. The Western Starlink, internet, the Western technologies, the Western banking, the Western money lenders, Western corporations. We can't run anything in Zimbabwe. What we just do is loot after loot and loot and loot. Right now we are seeing that 5 supermarkets have been closed. What I'm talking of is not yesterday. I'm speaking on what happened today, ladies and gentlemen. 5 supermarkets. Imagine kind of business stable sa rakuvara. Can we say they are looting? Can we say it's strategic exiting ya varikuita muZimbabwe? Strategic exiting vachenda kupi? Is a franchise? What is it? Ladies and gentlemen, we are seeing even a former CEO now coming back to run Things are not okay. So we see 5 Lenora has been closed. Kwazana 5, Chitungwiza Town Center, and Robson Manyika, as well as a city suburb. Imagine. The retail giant fired 3 top executives, former CEO, chief financial officer, and supply chain director due to business failure. Now has appointed another former CEO as CFO to try to bring back. Will they manage to bring back with all the chaos that is happening? Vamwe vachipana matenda ema 700,000. When Ian Smith vowed to maintain a white rule for 1,000 years, it fueled resistance and war. When Mugabe vowed kuramba akati zete, he was removed. This one is calling for a 2030 extension. For sure, he is going. Jerry Chigodora. They are going, these guys. Yes, sir. He says, I don't think this Gaza man still deserves trust. He can just disappear and keep quiet forever. Fellow Zimbabweans, we should take these issues into our own hands. What Geza simply did is remind us that it is possible. It is possible. Something else is possible. And for that, Geza did play his part. Big up to Captain Odido. Says we're watching you live. Channel of choice. Update us. Thank you very much for that positive feedback. Enough respect. Hey, my network here is troublesome. But we do continue. We don't stop. Ladies and gentlemen, Tisu Vanu Vachona. We don't stop. So fellow Zimbabweans, yes, we must not wait for a messiah. Yes, what Geza simply did do is show us that it is possible. And in that, Comrade Geza did play his part. Imagine the rot that is in this nation. A nation of demagoguery. A nation of toy-toying. Akanzi toy-toy opwa $1. Akanzi toy-toy opwa $5. Akanzi toy-toy. So, your retirement yachona is that the retirement, the houses that we are seeing these guys building for the war veterans. Me, I was born. Now, I did not see the liberation struggle. Those who keep singing the anthem of the liberation struggle. Fellow Zimbabweans, if we take a look from 1920 to 1960, when the British were in charge of Zimbabwe, in only 40 years, they built everything that we see everywhere in Harare, in Bulawayo, an entire nation, an entire system. And in 40 years, these guys have been in power. It has crumbled down. These guys must go. Do you think anyone can go? Let's play our part. When the election comes, let us vote in our numbers. Ma votes Harare nechitungiza chete. Anochinja zvinhu. General Bere. It said what is happening in Zimbabwe. Now we see grown-up people arresting Blessed Gaza, overzealous people. Yes, boss man. This is not a private nation. This is not a black colony. This is a Republican. This is a Republican. Let me just go over to google.com so that we can see what republic means before I sign out. What is a Republican? Let me just search. This is a Republic of Zimbabwe. And the name Zimbabwe is coined around 1964. What is the republic? So we can see what a republic means. The collective willpower of the people is what matters. These guys, they show you they are scared so that you be scared. Scared or not scared, we are still suffering. Doesn't change anything. Ladies and gentlemen, what is the republic? Zimbabwe, the Republic of Zimbabwe. Now, a republic based on Latin phrase res republic, public affair or people's affair, is a state in which political power rests with the public, people, through their representatives, in contrast to a monarchy. This is what a republic is. Then there are types of republic: constitutional, parliamentary, presidential republic, federal, theocratic republic. So a republic is a government controlled by people through their elected members. It is citizens who have the power. This is a Republic of Zimbabwe. It belongs to the people. It belongs to the people, and the state is not the nation. The nation, nationals is Zimbabwe. The role of the military is to protect the nation, the people, and the territory, the land, the terrain, territorial integrity. It has nothing to do with the state, which is the government. Three pillars of state: the judicial, the legislative, and the executive. But there is a fourth pillar, which is the military, and its role is to protect the people, is to uphold the Constitution, to enforce the Constitution. To enforce the Constitution does not mean to amend the Constitution, fellow Zimbabweans. Now in Zimbabwe, we have a lot of illegal laws. And these illegal laws, they actually use them in court. All those foreign legislations, they are illegal. Natural rights are the only rights that each and everyone have. The natural rights that were given to us by the owner of the soil of this land, who is God. Yes, natural rights. Natural rights. The right to be productive. The right to life. The right to create value. The right to create value. These natural rights are universal and fundamental. They are not given. What they give us, lying to us that they are rights, those are obligations. A right is an opposite of a wrong. A right is an opposite of a wrong. Iya ninganyura ma legislations. Then can you sign a social contract here? When those guys get in office, their legislations should expire and we remain with that which this nation is built upon, which is the Constitution. Which is the Constitution. The Constitution is the only thing that comes after. the natural right that we are given by God and nothing else. Natural rights that are given to us by God. Right to own property. Ndikagadzira chair yangu nemapranga ndeyangu, ndikarima chibage changu ndechangu. If I work with my labor, my sweat and my blood, and I make earnings, I have earned. Nobody should be stopped from being productive. Nobody should be told how to think. Now we have thought police in our nation. Are we living in a dystopia? Anyways, I don't want to go politics. I want to go politics, but this is not the video for it. With that, I'm going to sign out. Enough respect to everybody who was watching us live right about now. Thank you guys for watching TV7 Live. Thank you very much. And to those who are sabotaging my network, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Burn in hell. So fellow Zimbabweans, we will be doing a lot of offline videos edited. Usually we do these live streams because of time. But edited videos are always are better looking, better edited, less errors than these live videos. Remember, in doing this, I'm doing this alone. I'm changing the scenes alone. I'm shooting the background audio alone. I'm doing the voice effect alone. Everything I am doing it here. The background audio sometimes is to block the noise in the background when the fools who are harboring criminals at houses near me will be harassing. They are so entitled. They don't know why we are in these urban areas. We are here to be working. Makombo is them ghetto, them high density location. Akuskumba, Akuskumusha. These are not estates. These are places to supply the workforce for our urban areas. But some people are foolish enough to think this is home. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, I sign out. Be blessed. Be blessed. Always keep it in your mind that it is you who can make a change. It is you who can make a difference. And when the time comes, you play your part. You play your part. We are tired of those people who are violent, who arrest others for inciting violence, yet it is themselves that are violent.